So I would like to stabilize that, because that was really abstract, with the overall theme of today's session, which is the healing for humanity, because as we apply it, it becomes much more concrete, accessible, and we become better able to utilize this information in a really practical way. So one of the qualities or features of this foam, we'll call it foam, but think of it as billions of zillions of universes all popping open, opening and closing and expanding and contracting all at the same time at a very, very fine level, quantum level of creation. One of the qualities of that is there's a kind of an effervescence or excitement, a very sparkling. That sparkling light has an ability to cut through a lot of density. And so one of the things we're doing for humanity in this session is we're utilizing our ability to activate and harness the sparkling excitement of this particular level of our own consciousness to bypass the incredible density that humanity has been oppressed by for centuries. It's like the antidote to that oppression. It is an antidote. And it is none other than what you are. As we identify ourselves with these qualities of energy or consciousness, which is our actual real nature, we can think of them as laws of nature. We can think of them as angels or ascended masters. Well, that's a whole other way of looking at it. But the reality is, there's only one thing. It's only consciousness. It's only consciousness. And this quality or level, as I described to you, this level of your consciousness, which has this effervescent quality and this ability to literally manifest, explode universes, zillions of billions of trillions of them simultaneously opening and closing and opening and closing. It's awakening it within our consciousness. It awakens us within our awareness. We become familiar with who we really are. This is who we really are. This is the nature of consciousness at a very fine level. And once we have self-identified with a level of consciousness which is so powerful as to be able to create universes, then that level of our own consciousness has been infused with the power and ability to become useful to us. All of you are doing it, and it is being utilized. I am holding the silence because from the silence, this aspect of creative intelligence is capable of moving forth into the creation and having an effect which is absolutely perfect. We don't have to leave it to our individuality to decide, oh, what do I do with it once I found it? No, it's okay. It's okay. The divine level of the self knows exactly what to do with it. I'm counting. How many people have we got who are being affected, who are being supported? And I'll tell you in just a minute what's happening with them. But let's just find some numbers. We've got the 1.5 billion that were already with us. So I expect it goes up from there. 1.5 billion. We're adding in another 500 million, another about 7.75 billion are added in. So we're up over 2 billion people, 2.25 billion people. And this effervescent quality of our consciousness, which is affecting the entirety of humanity going back 36,000 years. I'm watching, and I will report to you what I see it doing. You guys might already be having your own experiences of that. Okay, it's up in the whole throat, neck, mouth, head expression area of the being. And it's also very clearly affecting brainstem. Oh, that makes sense, doesn't it? Brainstem and up into the limbic system. We're looking at the low road response in the nervous system. And we know that the low road response is responsible so often for people just it's the flight or fight response, right? It's when the energy comes up, the consciousness comes up here, goes through the limbic system, it goes right back down, and you just go, oh my God, I've got to do something, as opposed to the high road response where it comes forward into the prefrontal cortex, where the, logical thinking and reasoning and moral reasoning, all that stuff is up in the front. This is a slower response. But the beauty of the low road response is that it's very fast. The downside is that it is often responsible for people doing or saying things that they regret later. And it's important that this energy, this expression of your being, which is responsible for the healing that is taking place within you right now. And remember, everybody who's watching is getting the healing for themselves, and we're acting like little examples or blueprints or structures to communicate out to this. At this point, we've got 2.25 billion people who are receiving this healing. It's happening up in their low road response area of the physiology. It's causing rebalancing of hormonal production in this part of the physiology, so that one doesn't. And it's also, I'm seeing a really good, remember before our hearts were speaking to humanity? This is also happening at the same time. So there's both a heart and a mind communication taking place at the same time. And what it's doing is the refinement is coming forth from the heart area into this low road response area of the mind, and is causing the low road response to become more delicate, more refined, more sensitive. Remember that place that we found earlier, deep, deep, deep within the finest, most delicate level of the heart. The reality of that point of our physiologies, it's like a holder of that silence. That deep, delicate point in the heart is like the sacred bed where that silence likes to sit. It's one of them. One of probably every cell has a spot where that silence sits. Every molecule has a spot, but it's resonating at a certain frequency that's communicating to the limbic system, and particularly talking to the pituitary gland, which is up near the front part of the limbic system. So it's allowing the balancing of the entire endocrine system of the body, but there's a refinement of the way in which we produce hormones.